From AskUncleDave.com. I have the Netgear Nighthawk X10. Now I already hooked it up in the center of my home, and I have a hard drive that I connected to it. This is one of the Seagate hard drives plugged into one of the USBs on the side. So I already configured it, and I'm going to show you something here. There are different ways to configure this for the first time, initialize it. You can use the Netgear Up app on your phone, your mobile phone, or you can use the Netgear Genie, which is software that you install on your Mac or PC. But what I like to do is I like to use the browser. So you can use Chrome, Safari, whatever browser you like. All you have to do is basically type in Routerlogin.net. So basically you plug in all the wires from your cable modem into this, you plug it in power, you get it all set up. You go into your Wi-Fi here and you connect into one of the Netgear that show up there, because this is broadcasting. Then you just go into routerlogin.net and you put the default password. Now, default password you'll find on a sticker right here in the front or underneath the actual device. I covered it up with tape here, but basically they give you a default password. You can change all these things. Now there's different passwords to consider. There's the administration panel, which is the Netgear Genie, or this here. This is a web browser admin page. So there's a admin logon that's separate from your Wi-Fi logon. Like when you're on a device and you connect into that Wi-Fi, that's the username and password for that. So that's a Wi-Fi password. This is the admin password. So when you first prompted, to do this setup, you change your password. So I changed it basically to the word password, just to make it easier. Of course, it's going to be all reset after I'm done with all the videos. And then my login, I made it something very simple so that my phone can log in into there. So there's other stuff too. There's other memberships. There's you got the cloud backup. So what you can do, let me just type in my simple password. Okay, and that's the admin login. Okay, and then the other passwords is they give you 6 months of Amazon Drive, which is unlimited storage of videos and pictures and a whole bunch of files, and you get 6 months free for that. Now the other one is the ReadyShare. Now you get ReadyShare Cloud, so you can sign up for that, and then you get a ReadyShare Cloud so that you can access the hard drive that's attached to this Wi-Fi router, or even access your router from outside of the house. So those are the memberships pretty much. Now there's a whole assortment of mobile apps that you can play with, check out. When you have ReadyShare, when you go into your Finder here, you're going to see R900. That's the USB hard drive that's connected to the router, and I made a whole bunch of folders on there because this router also does Plex, and because you have ReadyShare, you can access that hard drive from outside your home. You're going to want to put all your stuff in there. Now you can go out and buy yourself a 3 terabyte hard drive, a 1 terabyte hard drive, whatever you want. There's 2 USBs, so you connect multiple hard drives. And what I did was I created folders inside there before I even started. Before I even connected it, I connected it to my computer, I formatted it to my computer, whether it's Windows or Mac, and I put folders in called backup, downloads, movies, pictures, TV, and whatever you want. You can put documents, whatever folders that you want to put in there. There's also a library folder, and this folder is created by Plex when you set up the Plex server. And I'm going to show you that in a separate video, because the Plex part of this is so amazing. You don't need a PC. You could just hook up a hard drive, run the Plex server on the Netgear itself, and now you have all your movies served up to you inside and outside of your home. The there's a couple of things that you need to know before you go out and spend your $550 on this. This is good if you're in the market for a router, number one. If you're not in the market for a router and you already have one that works pretty good, maybe some sort of AC router like a Netgear X8, or you have an Airport Extreme that does AC, and you are not in the market for a router, don't get this. You're better off buying yourself a NAS for $300 or $400 because you're going to need hard drives for it anyway. You're going to need hard drives for these. Use a NAS that has Plex server built in, if that's the reason why you're buying. Of course, the second reason is Plex. If you need Plex and you don't have a PC, or you don't want to have your PC running, then this is the way to go because it's the first router that has Plex built in. Second, also, the downside to this router is this is too much into the future. It's got the AD band, but there's not a lot of stuff out there that can connect to it. Look at my MacBook. It's only a 2012. Even if I had the newer MacBooks, there is no card for AD technology. You know, like you have AC, you have N routers. There's the AD router. But we're not ready for that yet. Now, a lot of virtual reality sets and a lot of 4K TVs will have the AD, and then when you connect to the Wi-Fi with those devices, you'll see the AD 60 gigahertz band, and you'll be able to use it, and it'll be 4 times faster than the current AC. So keep that in mind. If you don't have all these VRs and 4K TVs, and you don't plan on buying them in the next couple of years, don't waste your money. Get yourself a Netgear AC router and wait for the technology to catch up. Now, the other thing is when you're setting this up, and today's video is about not setting it up because we already initialized it, is using software and showing you for the first time what it looks like when you have this hooked up and you're in the Genie or in the Routerlogin page, all the different functions and stuff like that. Okay, so I don't use the Genie software because it doesn't have the Plex like immediately in front of me. It doesn't have its own tab. It just has like this, and it's not as friendly. All right, so we're going to hit exit. We're going to exit out this Genie. Now you can use the mobile apps, like I said, and of course you're going to need that sticker when you first initialize. So now here is what we are going to look at today. All right, so let's close this out. Now this is the Routerlogin. You type in routerlogin.net. You put that password that you changed it to. So I put in, you know, admin and password. Okay. Now you're met with this page here. So let's go through it because every time I want to buy a product, I like to look for a YouTube video that shows what's it going to look like on this router. Because if you had the old router, you're not going to see the Plex and everything like that. The Plex tab down here. So let's start now. There's 2 main tabs, basic and advanced. So if you go to basic, right, and they're going to ask me again because it keeps signing out on me, which is probably a good thing. It's got a default like timer or something like that. All right. So first things first, when I first installed this 2 days ago, I had to upgrade my firmware. And when I upgraded my firmware, it automatically said you have to upgrade your firmware. And there was some Plex server that was upgraded. Somebody asked me in the comments, what about Plex? Are we at the mercy of Netgear to you know, put the newest Plex version in there, or can we manually install it and all that stuff? It's pretty good so far. I mean, I don't know how it's going to be in a year from now, but whatever. Another person asked me, do the antennas screw off? And no, they don't. There might be a special tool that you can pop in the pin or something, pop one out one of the antennas, but basically they're not quick removed. Now, as you see here, this is the newest version 1.20, and it enhances a couple of things with Ready Cloud, you know, and all that stuff. It's going to fix a couple of things. So let's go ahead and install that update. I'm not going to make you go through the whole thing. And by the way, this is a freestyle video because I have no idea how to script something like this. So the server is shutting down, and when it comes back up, we'll see if there's anything new. But we're going to continue and learn about all the tabs that you have here so that when you get yours, you're going to love it. Okay, so now we logged back in and we're at version 20 now. So this was a small incremental update. But it's good news because they update it from when I bought it 2 days ago, and then 2 days later they update it. So they're working on it. They're updating it, which is good news. Now the other thing I want to explain about 60 gigahertz AD technology, you're basically going to need to be in the same room as that AD router because it doesn't go through walls. 60 gigahertz is a very short range frequency. The good news is when you have VR, currently today you plug into your router so that you can get the high quality 4K or whatever it is. But with this router, you're going to be able to disconnect, but you got to be within 5 or 6 feet with line of sight, with no walls in the way because it's very weak. So we've got to consider that. If you're doing it for a 4K TV, your router is going to need to be sitting in an area where it's direct line of sight with no walls. Keep that in mind, please. We have the Routerlogin, and we have basic and advanced tab up on top. Let's go through the basic. Now on the home, this is just shortcuts to these different things that you can do. So if we click on internet, it's going to talk to you about how you want to have it set up with the DNS address and getting a dynamic ISP, or you can use a static one so that it's easier to connect to, and there's other reasons, of course. So you have a help center at all times down here, so which is good. In the old days, they used to run it along this side. And then you have wireless. Wireless is your 3 bands that you have, and how you want to set up your security, whether it's any one of these here, and how it broadcasts. Okay, so like I said, 60 gigahertz is on, but I don't know why it's not showing up, and it's probably because this MacBook is not ready for it. So attached devices will give you a layout of all the Wi-Fi and wired devices. See, this is Ethernet connected. That's my NAS, and then Wi-Fi I have a whole bunch of devices that my kids are using and things like that. You can manage all of these, of course. Go in, change the names, do whatever. Okay. Then you have parental controls. Now, parental controls will bring you to an outside website, and you basically have to download software that runs on each device, like a PC or a Mac or whatever. And it works in conjunction with the Wi-Fi router to give you parental controls. You can access your parental controls from within the panel here. Okay. Now we have ReadyShare. ReadyShare is the way that you're going to share printers in your home, the way that you're going to access your Wi-Fi router, as well as the hard drive that's connected to it outside of your home and inside your home. Whether it's through the Finder window, see we have here the hard drive that's connected, and it's in my shared devices. It sends out the signal through my Wi-Fi if I'm connected on the same network, and allows me to connect into it. And that's my NAS, of course. And then I have ReadyShare. There goes ReadyShare. So that's the basic ReadyShare, of course. And also there's ReadyShare Cloud. Now ReadyShare Cloud is the way you connect from outside your house. You have to set up an account real quick. I'm going to show you. So you click here, and then you would click here on a router. This, if you had the Ready NAS, like they make a NAS unit, then you would click here. But we're setting up our router. So we'll hit start, and it tells you exactly what to do. You set up an account, then you go back into the Routerlogin, you put in the credentials, and then you're able to access it via a link that you can click in your browser or even use mobile devices. Okay, so let me shut that out right there. So then you would put it right in here, and that's it. You're ready to go. So that's ReadyShare and ReadyCloud. Okay, ReadyShare has to do with the printer and all that stuff and sharing your hard drive. ReadyCloud is the actual service itself. Okay, then there's Cloud Backup. That's the free 6 months of Amazon Drive. So Amazon Cloud Drive. So you can put unlimited storage on there. And then I think after the 6 months is done, you have to pay like $50 a year, $59 a year, to keep the service going. And you can upload all of your really crucial stuff that you don't want on your local hard drive. Maybe there's some documents that are really important, you need access to them with the cloud, but you could still access this with the cloud, but you can double backup things. Okay, so then you have the guest network, and it only works with the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz AC, and that's the only way you can share. You can't share that enormous 60 gigahertz AD. Okay, just so you know. Now there's a new software that is in here, and it's called Download, Netgear Download. And what it is, it's a application inside the Genie that allows you to download files, whether they are from websites that let you generate a link, okay, and I'll show you an example of that in a minute, or you could do FTP, where you set up from one place to another using an FTP server or software, client and server, right? And then you have emu. If you're a member of that and you've been using that, you can access that. That's another video altogether. And then there's BitTorrent. BitTorrent is like when you download torrents from a website. So let's start now with BitTorrent. So BitTorrent, the page changes, and you can see I already downloaded a bunch of stuff. Now when you download something, you download it directly into your hard drive. Now remember I told you I made folders ahead of time? Well, I made a downloads folder, and if you hit configure here, and you configure the path, it's going to open up that hard drive, and it's going to show all the folders that I created ahead of time. And there's also network trash folder. You know, they keep throwing folders in every time you set up something. So here we have downloads, and that's my downloads folder that I'm picking. Okay, so I'm just going to hit cancel because I already have it here, U/download. So it's the U drive on Windows. Okay, so we could set it up where it auto refreshes, because when you're downloading something and you see the progress going 10%, 20%, it doesn't automatically update unless you have that clicked. Otherwise, you could just hit the refresh button, and I'll show you that in a second. So we'll hit, I'll hit apply, okay, and it'll restart, take in the settings. So everything I download is going to download to the folder called download in my hard drive. All right, so I can configure an email too, where it'll give me a notification saying, hey, your download finished. Come check it out or whatever, So let's now download. Let's click it here again. We'll open up the interface, and we're going to hit BitTorrent. Okay, BitTorrent is, I belong to a site like Torrent Day or something, and you find a movie you want, you click it, and this little tiny file comes down, and you have that saved in your downloads folder. Now this is the BitTorrent right here. You can see it right there. That's just a file giving instruction of where to get it, how to download it, what parts to get from different people called RARs, stuff like that. So let's go to PC, and I'm going to choose file, and I'm going to go to my desktop, and I'm going to get that Last Man on Earth. Now I already done this, so it might give you a little bit of error message, but anyway, for any event, it says Last Man on Earth here, and it's ready to go, and we hit add, and it's going to add it to the list of downloads right there. Like I said, I might get an error because I just downloaded it when I was preparing this video. So let's wait for that to incorporate right inside there, and there it is. So I see it didn't do it. I would have to get a different RAR. Choose file. Okay, and I'm going to go into downloads, and I'm going to find that torrent. This is a new one. So we hit OK, and there it is. So now we're going to hit add. I'm going to let that add it. So it knows when you already did something, and it won't do it again. So that's a good thing. Just like uTorrent, other torrent downloaders, they warn you when you're about to duplicate something. Okay, so here it is, and it's going to start downloading here. Like I said, here's the refresh button, but if you had it automatically set to refresh, you can refresh. Now when your download is done, it's going to email you if you have it set up that way, and you're going to go into your Finder, and you can actually go into Ready Share, and go into USB, and basically we go to the downloads folder, and there is the downloads. Okay, so now no more downloading it to your PC and then taking it, accessing your hard drive and throwing it into a hard drive and then doing the Plex thing. Blah, 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 blah. It's too much stuff. Okay, so that's pretty much it with that. Next video, we're going to do the Plex media server, and I think this deserves its own video altogether. Now, before we go on to the Plex video, I'm going to show you advanced settings. So you click advanced settings, and you can get your router information here, your internet port, guest networks. You can have that all set up, and you can see if everything's running perfectly. Okay, so that's the advanced home, and then we're going to go into setup wizard. You can reconfigure this again all over again. Doing with the setups, you can set up different WAN setups and LAN setups and all that stuff. And basically, the majority of the people using this are not going to be using most of this stuff. But if you want to set up a printer, you want to set up the cloud backup, just it gives you more of an advanced way of doing things. Now, I'm probably also going to make a separate video about what you could do with this router as far as a VPN service goes. Now, I'm sitting at work or in Starbucks, and I connect to their Wi-Fi internet. Now, I'm opening myself up to somebody attacking me and getting all my information off my phone. But with this Wi-Fi router, you could set up a VPN service so that you can set it up so that your phone, you can take all the information and put it into your phone and connect to this router from Starbucks. So it's a VPN tunnel. It goes right to this router, and you're using the internet connection from your home router or your business router. So that's probably going to be a second video. You let me know in the comments if you want me to do a video like that. But like I said, this is more like a freestyle video. I can't really get into every single little thing, and you can go to the firmware update. There's just more controls inside here. UPnP, so that you can see that it's all set up so that your Plex clients can see everything, and other software that uses DLNA and UPnP. IPv6, you got traffic meter, you could kick people off, put people on, change your static IP. There's tons of things you can do with this, but I'm going to get into individual videos for that. You got to let me know what you saw here in this video, and tell me what you think I should do the next videos about. Definitely Plex, definitely VPN, and you just let me know. So to not make this video super long, I hope it helped you out so you get an idea what what's going to look like when you have it hooked up in your home, and some of the little key facts, things like that. Like I said, I think it's a little bit too futuristic for me, but if you buy it, you install it, you're future-proofing yourself with this router. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you.